What is the sign or the meaning of losing our keys? I remember a few years ago, one of my friends, his wife just wanted to move. But he was not ready, he wasn't sure about it. And what happened, he just forgot his keys and he was not able to enter in his house again. And then his wife, because they had the conversation in the morning during breakfast, so she said to him, maybe it's a sign, darling. Maybe it's time to move now. And because of that, yes, he said, yeah, I think, she was right. All the logical aspects also of moving was in place. Of course, it was not just the keys, because this is important. When you have a sign, it's got to be logical. You don't move like that suddenly and you decide to go and live in Peru. It's like you don't change your life like that. You need to have like a logical aspect, steps that you need to follow. So it's the same thing with a dream. When we receive a dream that is premonitory, sometimes it is premonitory for the moment, but sometimes it's for the future. It is in preparation. It is not necessarily ready. So a sign is also quite the same. So maybe sometimes it is not ready, but you start to have a sign to prepare yourself to eventually move or to eventually do something. But in his case, he moved right away. He organized it, and just a few weeks after, and it was a great synchronicity, because when they have put the house, it sold out very, very fast. So he was happy. And his wife also was happy, saying, we had a sign, we followed our sign, and then we have a very beautiful conclusion. So, of course, always the plus, always the minus. So what is the positive aspect of losing your keys? If you lose your key, a key first is a symbol of our capacity to open something, to have access to resources, to have access to new place. So keys are very, very important in symbolic language, because they can give us access to resources, to things, to the house, intimacy, to a safe, whatever, to a car, so many, many things. So depending on the situation and depending on what keys you are losing, then you can analyze. If you lose your keys of your house, then it's related to your intimacy. So the way you resource yourself, you renew yourself, etc. So maybe you're too social. When this thing happened, normally the negative side of this, it is a sign saying to you that you have a social life that is too intense, and you can't go to your intimacy again. So this is a big sign when you have that, because you don't have your keys, and then it's because you're too much outside, not enough inside. You need time to relax, to meditate, because you're living too much for the exterior world, and you don't take enough time for yourself or for the family. So this can be a sign expressing that you have difficulties to have access to your intimacy. So that's the first thing. Another way, another angle that can express the positive side of this, like we just said, it was time for that person to move, or maybe there is something that you need to understand, something you need to understand regarding your intimacy. Maybe your wife needs more attention, etc. And just by forgetting your keys, you can say to yourself, okay, yeah, it's time for me to go more inside and to be with the family. So then I take a positive aspects of this, and then I organize something, and then I see the sign, and I anticipate the ambience of the family and the situation and certain decision that I can take. This is a very interesting aspect, losing our keys, because there's many angles that can be related to that. Of course, the negative aspects of losing our keys is normally the connection of the sign, because when we lose something, we don't win. So we have a difficulty. So this is important to understand that. But it can always be positive depending on the inner state, what we have within, what is the situation, etc. But when we lose something, let's remember first that, we need to change something. There's something important that we need to make a connection with. If we lose our car's keys, so what is going to be the meaning of that? Our car is our capacity to move towards others, to manifest ourselves socially. So losing our keys will be like maybe a lack of motivation on the negative side. We don't want to advance anymore. We are tired. We need to take time for ourselves, etc. We don't want to do something also. Maybe it can be in connection with that. Or the positive aspect can also be sometimes, like we said, a protection, because maybe it was not the time to go and to manifest yourself. So we need to understand something deeper. So to resume, the utility of using the keys are going to be very important. So is it the keys of my house? Is it the keys of my car? Is it the keys of my office, etc.? Because a dream or a sign, it's like an equation. You're going to need to do, losing your keys plus office equals something. If it is the house, then you do losing your keys plus house, etc. You need to analyze the house, or you need to analyze the office or the car or whatever the situation or the object that is in relationship with the keys. So then you're going to have the sign, then you're going to know what is the lesson that you are receiving and what is the situation that is creating the notion of losing an access to something.